If you're an educator, you know that critical thinking is needed more than ever before. The problem is clear. Study after study reveals disturbingly low critical thinking outcomes in higher education and high school. Not only schools are noticing these outcomes, employers recognize the problem too, and they are clamoring for critical thinking, which consistently tops the 21st century skill set they seek in prospective employees. But these aren't just the needs of business. Now more than ever, the need to transform young minds into formidable critical thinkers is becoming a national conversation. And in terms of research, a quick database search for critical thinking in education shows a startling increase in the number of articles published since 2005. The critical thinking discussion is on the rise. So if everyone wants critical thinking, why are the outcomes still so low? Why haven't existing books and strategies solved for this? What's the real nature of the problem? While some people might be tempted to blame the students, or the teachers, or texting, or our culture, the Critical Thinking Initiative asks you to take a moment and consider the problem in an entirely different way. Think of an ecosystem where every element is crucial to sustaining the vitality of the system as a whole. Only a fully functioning ecosystem offers any organism the environment it needs not just to survive, but to thrive. Now, what the Critical Thinking Initiative asks you to consider is this. An intellectual organism needs an ecosystem in much the same way as a biological organism. Regardless of the subject matter, for any classroom or institution to be a critical thinking ecosystem, the pedagogy, the assignments, the way students engage material, and the means of outcome assessment must all reinforce one another in growing the student's ability to think critically. But even just a glimpse of years and years of research reveal that each of these four key educational factors are typically not fostering critical thinking outcomes. For example, in terms of pedagogies, most educators who value critical thinking rely on immersion methods, but immersion methods are not well correlated with improved critical thinking outcomes. Likewise, most assignment designs explicitly or implicitly favor summary, not intellectual work. Most students are provided no definitive process for engaging material critically. An assessment, which often drives what students do, typically suppresses critical thinking rather than inspiring it. Therefore, if the question is whether or not education functions as the ecosystem that's needed to produce strong critical thinking outcomes, the answer is that it does not, at least not nearly as much as we all want. And there is